Here you are, Mr. Raboon. Another scotch and soda?
The only way to fly. Used to be just like you. Used to hate flying. I mean, the moment I got on a plane, I'd be gripping those armrests like my teeth were being drilled.
Hello, good evening. My name is Derek, and I'm here to talk about a plane crash.
Developing now, a small plane flying to Long Island has crashed in the mountains of Virginia. It happened around 3 this afternoon in the western part of the state. The Cessna took off from Elizabethton, Tennessee, heading for MacArthur Airport in Ronkonkoma.
U.S. fighter jets, F-16s, scrambled at supersonic speeds over the nation's capital to track a Cessna plane or a passenger plane of some sort that was traveling over restricted airspace.
Possible aircraft crash.
Now, investigators are still they still have to look into the cause of this crash. That remains a mystery at this hour.
There may be people who want to cover up this evidence.
The plane was going from Elizabethton, Tennessee to New York. Now, I believe it actually made its destination and then came back.
The FAA, confirmed that the plane was headed to Long Island. It didn't seem to be flying in the right direction if it was heading to Long Island.
Mulder, why can't you just accept the facts?
Because there are no facts, Scully. What they're telling you, what they're going to report, they're the opposite of facts. A claim to ignorance of the facts. Claim steadfastly, ignorance becomes as acceptable as the truth.
U.S. fighter jets scrambled over the nation's
about
capital yesterday to intercept a plane that had entered restricted airspace. The military response created a sonic boom that shook neighborhoods in the area.
Startled the D.C. area on Sunday. It turned out to be F-16 fighter jets headed to assess a possible threat over the nation's capital.
Federal investigators say the Cessna plane crashed near the mountains of northern Virginia, but state police found no survivors. Jeff Gaze is in Stanton, Virginia. Jeff, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is where the search has been focused. You can see how rural it is, and so as a result, investigators and search crews did not have a lot of light to work with, and that's why the search for victims was suspended.
Is that guy's real voice? I'm wondering. They're looking for the plane, and it was over there.
Is that there were 4 people on board that plane, and when the pilot
did
not respond to air traffic control commands, that's when the fighter jets were scrambled. The cause of this crash remains under investigation, but the military says that it did not shoot that plane down.
Okay, this was very interesting to me because I recall an episode of The X-Files. Remember that show? Where there was a very similar story where a plane was flying around on its own business, a much bigger passenger jet. This is a smaller plane. All of a sudden...
What the hell is this? 549, do you read? We got something. Some intercept. My God. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Plane was unresponsive to communication. Possibly he had passed out.
This has the signatures of some sort of incapacitation. The airplane does not pressurize properly. The pilots become hypoxic, meaning, of course, lack of oxygen. They fall asleep, as do the passengers. Because of lack of oxygen, they perish. Meanwhile, the airplane continues.
Then it turns out that a U.S. fighter jet intercepted this plane, although not on the radar was a third jet or a third aircraft, a UFO.
Because Flight 549 was intercepted by a second aircraft, an aircraft which did not appear on the military's or anyone else's radar screen.
What the hell is this?
Something went terribly wrong, something unimaginable.
Okay.
Third aircraft, probably an F-15 Eagle, was given the coordinates for Flight 549.
Heading 100 and to 9,000 feet. Go ahead.
The flight controllers watched the fighter enter Flight 549's airspace on an intercept pattern, not knowing what they had set in motion. No way of knowing there was a third craft which was not on their screen.
The UFO had been planning to intercept the passenger jet, and I believe this is what happened here too. Not on the, even though it was not on the radar, the U.S. military knew about this aircraft, and this is why it intercepted it. And basically, the people in the passenger jet, or in this case, passenger plane, were deemed expendable.
And the IIC is making a statement to the press saying that there was a complete systems malfunction on the plane.
In other words, there's still no explanation for what brought this plane down.
No, not yet.
The military says that it did not shoot that plane down.
Now, in the X-Files, there was a passenger named Max Fennig. He was on the plane, and he was carrying something that was radioactive. It could have been some kind of cold fusion or over unity. What the heck is over unity? Is that a thing? Yeah, that's a thing.
Scientists in Finland right now who say that they've detected anti-gravity over the surface of a spinning superconducting disk. Technology that is supposedly 20 or 30 years down the road, like over unity energy. Massless displacement current from cold fusion that we need for space travel. I know, thanks to my inside sources, that this technology in fact exists. I've seen military aircraft that use it hovering right over my trailer.
Either way, the government wanted this at any cost, even if it meant the lives of...
Because what you're suggesting trivializes this tragedy and casts these fine people and the work they have to do in a light that I think you would be well advised to avoid.
I think we all share the same goal here, sir, and that's to find out what caused that plane to crash.
You know what else has been going on? There's been these orbs. Orbs have been flying all over the world. Can we find out about these orbs? Let's take a look. There's been orbs everywhere. Where's the orbs? Orbs, buddy. Where are the orbs? Here it is right here. NASA. Floating metallic orbs are everywhere, and 4 other UFO revelations from NASA. I would be wearing my NASA shirt, but it's in the laundry right now. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration, otherwise known as NASA. Coincidence? I think not. Is finally getting in on the trend of government investigations into unidentified foreign objects not flying. You notice that. After stating for years that UFO inquiries were below them, both in terms of altitude and reputation, NASA held its first ever hearing this week on the weird objects that are flying around us, apparently all the time. So orbs have been here all the time, so Max Fennig was right. But seriously, what are these orbs? Sean Kirkpatrick, the head of Department of Defense UFO branch, formerly known as the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, spoke at the NASA hearing of strange metallic orbs, like one observed by a Reaper drone in the Middle East last year, because of course everyone knows what a Reaper drone is. Screenshot displayed at NASA UAP briefing of a metallic orb. Can we get some footage of that? Only 2 to 5% of sightings are really unexplained, which makes sense. Kirkpatrick stated that his research office at the Department of Defense receives around 50 to 100 reports of UFOs, or UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, as they are now known, per month since it was founded last July, but only 2 to 5% of those events are really anomalous, Kirkpatrick said on Wednesday. The majority of unidentified objects reported to Arrow and in our holdings demonstrate mundane characteristics of readily explainable sources, he added. Anyway, we got all kinds of stuff we can read here, but I gotta go to bed because tomorrow's a school day. So good night, subscribe, and aliens, I think someone's coming. Uh-oh, we gotta go.